Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmistines. Our $20 tier members will get their requested film reviewed in a future episode, and we even have a $1 tier. Every little bit counts. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment. They're an experience.
They're an experience.
All around you. Well, we're back with another episode of the Filmistines, brought to you by the Filmistines. And I'm joined today by my one and only friend.
That's so sad.
Lucy.
Hello.
My horror movie watching friend.
There you
Really,
go.
this is a horror podcast if you guys are just now tuning in.
Yeah.
Apparently. This is like our
Apparently.
7th, maybe, horror movie? 6th? I feel like half of what we've done is horror. But today we are covering the second part, part 5. Actually, the first in the run. The third Saturday in October, part 5. Which is actually part 2.
Yes.
But we watched the second.
Yeah.
And wasn't as good.
It was not as good.
But I also want to say this off the top. The director here, Jay Bauhaus, whatever his name is. I didn't even look.
Burleson.
Jay Burleson. I don't think he likes 90s horror as much as he likes 80s horror. I think he's almost making fun of 90s horror being especially bad.
Well, if that's what he was trying to do, he did it.
He did it.
He did it.
What are your high-level thoughts in this?
I don't have high-level thoughts.
None at all?
Ever.
Ever.
I mean, I thought the name was clever, so I like that. The part 5, when it's part 2. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So you said last time we're meant to see this first, or he would have liked us to see this first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
And
wanted everybody to see this one first.
But why?
I think he's just
Another-
just making fun of the chronology of horror movies and how they're largely unconnected, and this one really is, with the exception of the killer, of course. But there's really no. They're pretty much completely separate movies, just like all the Jasons and all the Freddys.
I mean, because we have what was his name? Dean.
Ricky Dean.
Doesn't he narrate in the beginning?
Yeah, I guess he is. I think he is narrating. Yeah.
And then we have several times where they mention, 10 years ago or whatever, how long ago that was that he escaped. So I guess if he's trying just to be funny on watching it first and just make us more confused, then I was just reading and
What you got? Holy.
that he was trying to play on how when you went to go rent a movie, you almost never got to see them in order. They almost never had the whole series or franchise or whatever for you to rent.
Wow.
You would see like part 3 before you got to see part 1, or the movie wasn't always available for you to watch.
Okay.
So a lot of people, apparently that was very popular. You just picked what you picked, and then you saw the other later. Which is hilarious.
We kind of just missed that. I don't know if you have a lot of Blockbuster family video experience.
Vaguely.
I probably was in one fewer than 5 times in my upbringing.
No, it was. I remember going a lot, but I don't remember what type of movies we would rent or really the process of it. Besides just picking a movie, but I remember we would go a lot. They had one here.
I did not know there was a Blockbuster out here ever.
Yeah, so we would go pick movies, and I don't know how many you could get at a time, or if there were certain tiers or what you paid for. Have no idea. But between 2 adults and 3 siblings, I was the youngest. I was not the one getting to pick what movie we watched, so it is what it is. But apparently that's what he was trying to
invoke.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's completely lost, I think, on most people around our age, because
Oh,
I think
definitely.
that just grazed us, because it wasn't. I mean, at that same time, Netflix was probably around. How old? You must have been 5, 6, 7, 8, right?
Didn't Netflix start in 2008?
No, Netflix started in like 1999.
Oh. Like when they delivered the DVDs to you?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't know. I think that's when we got it. We got it around 2008.
Yeah, the streaming may have popped up around that time, because I think 2008 is when we stopped getting the DVDs, just because we stopped. No other reason. My mom just didn't. She was over it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
you
where I
meant
saw a lot of
Netflix
my
stuff.
wrestling documentaries through Netflix. Yeah, my mom was a really early adopter of Netflix. Not really early, but she was relatively early.
Yeah, I think 2006 to 2008, around those times, whatever. Yeah, around those times was when my brother got Netflix. He was the first one.
The
My
DVD
older
version?
brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
still
DVD.
around.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And let us not forget, Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix for something like $1 million in the late 90s.
They were like, nah, we good.
We good. Yeah, so my initial thoughts, and pretty much my only real thoughts, are the Jay Burleson, is that his name?
Yeah.
He does not revere the 90s horror on the same level he does the 80s. And if he does, he just thinks the 90s horror might be inherently a little more stupid, which I guess is endlessly debatable.
So I was trying to think about what 90s horror movies I've kind of got from this film, like what vibes I was getting, but I didn't really get any. I don't know if I've seen a lot of 90s horror. It's either a lot of the earlier stuff or a lot of the later stuff. 90s just wasn't hitting it for me.
I hear that. I mean, I would challenge you to think of one, because I think there's only one super famous one. I guess maybe two, but that's Chucky and Scream.
Yeah, and I haven't.
And they were at the beginning and tail end. So I feel like there is kind of a lost. I mean, I'd have to really think about it. I can't think of anything off the top of my head for 90s horror.
No, I mean, I even Googled 90s horror films and I didn't recognize majority of them. Just
That's funny.
Chucky and like Silence of the Lambs, and I'm like,
Sounds, yeah,
okay.
and that's a little bit different because
yeah.
because of its book origins. But yeah, I mean, my prediction in more gruesome deaths, I think was right.
Yes. Which I liked.
I liked too. The constant, this must be a trope of 90s horror. But you see the weapon, you see the face, who's about to die, you see the weapon, and the death happens. That happened like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Like, so it's pretty silly and fun. And them all dying in the same room, almost video game style, where you lead the guys down the same corridor, and all these bodies pile up and stuff, and that's fun. That guy on the bed with his toes cut off, and he's just kept there.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost like a bait to get everyone else in there. Did you like anything about it?
Oh, I mean, I liked the gruesomeness. I liked the deaths. I liked the exaggerated scene at the end where she grabbed a bunch of knives. It's like, and they kept stabbing him. And I just thought that was funny.
That was funny.
There's always a knife somewhere, I guess. But I mean, I especially liked almost to where I didn't like the stabbing of his feet. When he stabbed his feet, I couldn't take it. You can cut the head off. You can stab the hands, the arms, the belly, your private parts. I don't care. When he stabbed those feet, I just like clenched up. Cause that was like, it gave me almost the same feeling as in the Evil Dead movie with the cheese grater.
Oh yeah.
It gave me that same feeling. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, pretty nice effects there. I have to give it I don't know how much this movie ended up costing them, but that was a pretty nice effect happening there. Yeah, I'm not super high on this movie in any way whatsoever. The score was even a little weaker.
Yep, agreed.
And my favorite character was Lester, of course.
The wheelchair guy?
The wheelchair guy. He was fun. I think he was a little bit of the spectacle of the movie, I think.
Yeah, it was almost cartoonish.
Yeah.
Especially at the end where he got up from his wheelchair and he could walk, and
that was funny.
I'm so scared. I can fucking run, even though I'm, whatever sickness he had or ailments he had.
Yeah, I assume he was a football player going, who got hurt and was going through PT.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Who's to say? But that's the kind of impression I got.
Okay.
Because they're in high school, maybe college. I think high school.
High school would make sense.
That makes sense. I mean, everybody looks older.
Yeah. Than what they're.
When you have a 90s filter on their people. But.
Yeah, at first I wasn't feeling the 90s vibe. Or maybe 90s just feels so old now that.
Does 90s feel older than the 80s?
Almost. Jesus.
I think that's all I've got to say about this movie. How about you?
Yeah, that's all I have to say pretty much too. Nothing more to say. First one's definitely better.
This one's, to be honest, I will say, this movie's not worth watching.
I'll agree.
It's pretty weak. It's all the good things in this happen better
in the other film,
with the exception of, I guess, the deaths, but they're not good in either place, but they are kind of funny in their own way.
Fast forward to the scene or to the part where he kills everybody in the same room within like 10 minutes and then you'll be good.
Sorry to disappoint in this episode. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Philistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey, no matter how bad. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon, where we offer $1, $5, and $20 tier support. Every dollar counts. And come follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Philistines signing off.